My apologies, a little late with Monday's video report because we've got some internal problems here at the site. It's a personnel issue, I've got to be honest. And as general manager of the site, it's something I've got to deal with. Two of the charter members of the site, Anthony Red and Chris Jordan, they're at the crux of the matter. Chris Jordan, he wants to be traded. He feels he doesn't get the respect. He wants to have his own site. He wants to go out on his own. He feels that Anthony Red is just holding him down, keeping him from being the star of the team. Hey, listen, I got to give it a shot. You just can't talk about gambling every single day. I mean, I just find it funny, this whole Kyrie Irving and LeBron James thing. LeBron James is getting what he deserves. You know, when you want to be the man, the big man on campus, you want to call all the shots, well, you're going to have some rebellion because not everybody wants to march to your tune. And you know I'm no LeBron James fan. So I really think that Dan Gilbert and LeBron James, they're getting their just rewards. As far as Kyrie Irving, really, you know, you're not exactly the guy for a team. You know, I look at Kyrie Irving and Paul George as similar players. They're very, very, very good players. But are they superstar players? Are they in LeBron James's category? No, they aren't. I mean, you know, is Kyrie Irving a Russell Westbrook who has his flaws, but certainly is one of those guys that you can build a team around, just like James Harden? Is Kyrie Irving one of those guys? No, he's not. But somebody ultimately will certainly give him the keys to the car and try to build the team around him. And very interesting, though, that he wants to go, supposedly, reportedly, is among his top four teams are Minnesota and the New York Knicks. Go figure. But boy, are the Cavs going to rue the day that they didn't pull off a trade and trying to get Jimmy Butler to come to that organization. There was the guy. There was the guy. Probably could have kept LeBron there, and you would have had another young guy, a sharpshooter there. Because if you're going to give me the choice between Jimmy Butler and Kyrie Irving, I'm taking Jimmy Butler. Yeah, two different positions. I get that. But if you're giving me the guy to have in my backcourt and it's Kyrie Irving or Jimmy Butler, hands down, I'm taking Jimmy Butler. And if you're going to team Jimmy Butler and LeBron James, I'm going to have those two because I can go out and get another serviceable point guard. And I know, listen, that may mean you may end up with a guy who's not going to be the greatest, but I'd rather have that tandem if I'm going forward than a disgruntled Irving who doesn't want to play second banana anymore. But it's not going to be. But anyway, we move forward. Let's talk about what's going on here. I've got two complimentary plays coming your way in just a moment. But first, let's talk about a little fun stuff. Did you know that on this day in 1982, Survivor's Eye of the Tiger from Rocky III? Come on, you can hear that beat. You can already hear that song. Doesn't it make you want to start running up some steps, want to pump some iron, want to beat up somebody? Just a couple of thoughts there. Eye of the Tiger topped the Billboard singles chart, beginning a 6-week run at #1 starting on this day in 1982. It was the #2 single in 1982. Quick! In case Alex Trebek hits you on Jeopardy, what was the #1 single in 1982? Come on. It was a huge, huge DVD that year. I think this album had 6 big singles on it. It was a woman. She was damn cute. Olivia Newton-John's Physical was the #1 song that year. Yeah. And by the way, let's go a step further. Which song did Eye of the Tiger dethrone as the #1 song in the country? The Human League's. Yes, the Human League's Don't You Want Me? And what song ultimately knocked Eye of the Tiger off the #1 perch? Abracadabra by the Steve Miller Band. And a 6-week run at the top of the singles chart sounds damn good, but that was not the longest run in 1982 at the #1 spot at the Billboard Top 100 singles chart. Nope. That was shared by 2 utterly forgettable songs that were each #1 for 7 long, sufferable weeks in 1982. Oh my God, I remember both of these songs and they both sucked. Ebony and Ivory by Stevie Wonder and Paul McCartney. I saw McCartney last week and I can tell you he wasn't singing that tune. And Joan Jett, I Love Rock and Roll, which is a damn good reason to hate rock and roll if you ever had to listen to that damn song one more time. So that's your music. little run for today. The movie that was released on this day in 1998, Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan, opened in theaters today, of course, nominated for 11 Academy Awards, won 5 Oscars, with the big one, of course, going to Spielberg for Best Director. $70 million budget, went on to make $481 million worldwide, but it was not the number one movie that year. Come on, think of it, 1998, number one movie, spurred on by a big hit song by Aerosmith. What was it? Bruce Willis, come on, was in the movie. Come on. You had to think of it now. I gave you enough clues. Come on. Guys, you don't know the movie? Oh, hell, you don't deserve to be told the movie. $553 million. Ben Affleck. Oh, I'm not even going to tell you. You should know it by now. Anyway, the number 3 movie was Godzilla. Number 4, Something About Mary. Number 5, Bug's Life. What the hell was Godzilla doing, making $379 million that year? Anyway, we move forward. Born on this day. Or maybe born on this day in 1970 or 1969, depending on which site you want to determine. Jennifer Lopez. Do you think the baby gave her a smack on that ass and said, man, that was one hell of a tushy? Nah, I'm just thinking. Just a thought. Do you think she came out with that butt and the doctor said, yeah, that's one hell of an ass? Just a thought. Just a thought. Also born on this day, Gus Van Sant, the director. Drugstore Cowboy, Good Will Hunting, My Private Idaho, Milk, starring Sean Penn. My favorite Gus Van Sant cameo, maybe his only cameo that he always made was Jay and Silent Bob. Remember in Jay and Silent Bob, the Good Will Hunting little satire where Affleck and Damon look over and say, Gus, are you going to call action? And Gus is counting the money and saying, kind of over there in the corner. Great little cameo. By the way, still my favorite of that. I still can't watch Clerks. Can't watch Clerks 2. Live with Chasing Amy. Like Mallrats. Still say Jay and Silent Bob is just a classic film by Kevin Smith. Still the best of that 5-set series. Still Jay and Silent Bob, the best of them all. Peter Sellers died on this day in 1980. I never got into the Pink Panther films. A little bit before my time, but just really couldn't get into. But Being There. You ever see Being There? I won't give away the last scene, but I think it's just a classic scene, just a classic movie. Sherman Hemsley, George Jefferson, passed away on this day at the age of 74 in 2012. And here, for those of you that are older, certainly older than me, the name is Marni Nixon. If you ever watched The King and I, or A Fair to Remember, Deborah Kerr, the singing parts that she did, they were dubbed by Marni Nixon. If you ever watch West Side Story, not a movie I ever watched, but I can certainly know the music from it. Natalie Wood's singing parts, dubbed by Marni Nixon. Didn't get any credit. My Fair Lady, Audrey Hepburn, the music parts, dubbed by Marni Nixon. She was the queen of the dubbing roles when it came to movies back in the 50s and 60s. And the little added trivia for you, who was she the mother of? Andrew Gold. Biggest hit single, of course, was Lonely Boy back in, 1977. He was, of course, in Linda Ronstadt's band for a number of years, that Southern California sound back in the 70s. The Eagles, Linda Ronstadt, Poco, so many of those other bands, and that Jackson Browne. But he did most of her musical work back in the 70s, fronted her band for a long time. Many of you remember the Golden Girls, Thank You for Being My Friend. That was his song as well, but that was his son, or her son, Andrew Gold. Today in sports, 1983 marks the anniversary of George Brett's infamous pine tar game against the Yankees, when a game-winning home run called back, nullified because of too much pine tar on the bats. And you remember, if you look up the YouTube video, I remember George Brett went a little psycho in that game. Let's get to your complimentary play. I'm going to go with Colorado as the road dog at St. Louis. Mike Leake of the Cardinals opened up the season pitching like gangbusters, but he has really struggled, and unbeknownst to everybody out there until recently, when Leake made public that he has been slow to recover from a bout of shingles that he suffered about a month or so ago. It's weakened him, and he lost some weight as well. And clearly it shows in his pitching performance because in his last 10 starts, he has a 5.04 earned run average and a 1-6 record. His last start against the Mets last week at Citi Field, he allowed 10 hits and 7 runs in just 2 innings of work. In his last 3 starts, he has he's given up 26 hits and 17 runs in just 10.2 innings of work. Now, the Cardinals are struggling once more. This has been a team that their offense has been in and out all season long. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They're coming off back-to-back losses to the Mets in New York. Now they're back home at Busch Stadium. The Rockies have seemingly regained their offensive touch here, as they have been definitely on a roll. Their last 7 games, they've won 6 of them, albeit 6 of those games have been at Coors Field, but still 98 hits and 74 runs while winning 6 of those 7 games. So I'm going to go with the Rockies as the road dog in that game. I'm also going to take a shot with the Rangers at home. Heavy price, laying the $1.45, but I like them tonight as they snapped a 5-game losing streak by sweeping a weekend series, all one-run victories. I dare you to say that 3 times quickly. 1-run victories at Tampa Bay. They're going with Martin Perez, and I can't say anything positive about him, but at the same time, I can't say anything positive about Adam Connolly going for the Marlins. Yes, he is making a second start since being recalled from the minors. His first one, he looked good against the Phillies, giving up just 2 runs and 8 hits in 6 innings. But keep in mind that Connolly earned his demotion to the minors because in his first 7 outings this season, he had a 7.53 earned run average. So just because he shut down the Phillies doesn't mean anything in my book. So I'm going to go with the Rangers and the Rockies. The double R's as your 2 complimentary plays. I wish you well, guys. I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we do this one more time. And be honest with me, since you started this video report, now for the rest of the day, you're going to be humming to yourself, "Eye of the Tiger." You're going to be thinking about that Survivor song the rest of the day, right? You can hear that beat right now, can't you? Right? Okay, that's it. Go. And if, by the way, I'm not telling you the movie because if you haven't put it together yet, come on. Aerosmith, ballad, monster song, Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, they saved the world from the asteroid. Come on, you got to remember it by now. That's it. Good luck. Talk to you again tomorrow.